Well, there's definitely some frenzy around this tweet that's lasted more than 12 hours. It's pretty ironic that the agency that's tasked with monitoring market manipulation was hacked in some capacity and released this fake tweet and the fake news around it. I think, though, that the market remains eager and awaiting this eventuality, which I think is inevitable. And if this does happen, I think, to your point, this is a watershed moment, no question about it. It's going to usher in a lot of institutional capital. It's going to change the dynamic of this asset class completely.
There has been a lot of excitement around the ETF, and the hope is around the idea that, again, all the big institutional money will come into the market. There was this very similar sentiment and hype when futures, the Bitcoin futures were announced. Now, there was not huge demand for that. That sort of institutional flow in didn't materialize. Why could this be different?
Well, I think it's the nature of the players you're seeing that are teed up, that have put in applications to get approvals. Fidelity, ARK Invest, there's so many of them. I think BlackRock that are waiting, and the market that they command is quite massive and quite large. And I do think that as part of a diversified investment portfolio, you'll see folks interested in holding this asset that many have wanted to hold for some time, but the interface has been challenging for some folks. So this actually makes that a lot easier, and I think opens the perimeter essentially for folks to come in who wanted to be in for some time.
Now, there's big bets that the SEC will greenlight these applications. Is there any kind of chance that they actually reject them this time around?
You know, nothing would surprise me anymore, to be honest. In this space, it's never dull and never boring. I do think that even if this round of applications, for some reason that I cannot possibly fathom, none of them make it through, I think you're going to see another go at this, another bite at the apple, if you will. And people are going to keep trying until this gets through. I think the Grayscale case and the way that that is currently playing out indicates that there is not only appetite, but demand signal for this particular opportunity. And I think you're just going to keep seeing people keep banging on the door, you know, until it opens.
And in terms of this ETF being introduced, it may come to market, but one of the things that's lagging is regulation in the US around the broader crypto industry at this point. Does that introduce risks if you've got this ETF that sort of tracks the price of Bitcoin, but actually underlying that, there's not real solid regulation yet around the broader industry?
Well, it's an interesting question. I actually think that the advent of a spot ETF would actually pave the way for more openness to regulation and more understanding of the importance of regulation. And the hope is we'd achieve that regulatory clarity in a more efficient, shall we say, manner than we have to date in the United States.
Now, your organization talks a lot to lawmakers. You're in Washington speaking to the players who are looking to regulate the industry at this point in time. There's still a few issues that remain in the US. The fact that the SEC and the CFTC is still battling out for who should regulate the crypto industry. There's various bills that have been drawn up, none yet to pass as well. Consumers still lacking protection. The industry is lacking certainty. So with your conversations with lawmakers over the past year, 2 years, what is the appetite right now to regulate crypto?
I think there is significant appetite. And I actually think even though we're going into an election year in the U.S., as we are in many parts of the world, some of the biggest champions, I would say, people who understand the importance of regulation, not necessarily pro-industry, but folks who understand this, are either not running for office or are really looking to get something across the line before they retire in some cases. And so I think we have a window here to really get something done, particularly because we have two bills that have passed the House, come out of committee, and that are waiting for a floor vote, rather. So we are hoping that we'll see something in the early days of this year. Now, I think the limiting factor here is not the election, as many think. The limiting factor actually is the fact that we have a complicated and challenging congressional makeup right now. Right now, just watching this budget process play out and watching how challenging it's been to get agreement on what the parameters around the budget of one of the biggest countries in the entire world is, it does not necessarily portend an easy process. That being said, I do think that things like the spot ETF and the appetite you're seeing for this kind of connection to traditional financial institutions, injecting their capital into this space and creating a whole new suite of products and services around that kind of intersection is going to open up more awareness from those who've been maybe hesitant or on the sidelines to understand why regulation is so essential.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.